I'm a 28-year-old woman named Marissa, and for most of my life, I've been treated like a fragile vase in my own family, something to be kept on display, but never trusted to stand on its own. I grew up in a small, picturesque town where my parents were practically royalty. My father was a well-respected dentist until he retired 5 years ago. People still greet him like he's running for office. My mother owns one of the most successful real estate offices in the area. She's the kind of woman who walks into a room and has everyone adjusting their posture. Growing up in their shadow meant everything had to look good, feel good, sound good. And if it didn't, it was swept under the rug. They never abused me. That's what makes this harder to explain. They handled me. Every time I spoke about something personal or tried to assert myself, it was followed by a correction. If I told a story at a family gathering, one of them would jump in, not to support it, but to say, well, that's not exactly how it happened. And then it became a joke. Marissa's always been dramatic, sensitive. She remembers things in her own special way. It wasn't funny the first time. It got worse with age. It all started spiraling during a dinner 2 years ago. We were at my parents' place, and a conversation turned into an argument. Nothing explosive, just a disagreement about a memory from high school. I got up and left early because I wasn't in the mood to be laughed at in my own family. A few days later, my cousin messaged me privately, asking if I was okay. She said she'd heard I had some kind of episode that night and that I'd been having trouble again. That was the first time I realized they weren't just undermining me in front of me. They were rewriting who I was behind my back. For context, I work in UX design. I've held steady jobs, never had issues with mental health, and have been living on my own since college. I've never been diagnosed with anything, never been on medication, and never even had a therapist until recently. But I started noticing how every disagreement, every boundary I tried to set with my family was reframed as instability. If I pushed back, I was overreacting. If I asked for space, I was withdrawing. If I didn't attend an event, I was acting out. Even my boyfriend at the time, James, started to shift. He and I had been together for 3 years, and things had always been solid between us until he came to a barbecue at my parents' place. My mother kept making these joking comments to him about how she hoped he had good insurance and knew what he was signing up for because Marissa's got her moods. I laughed it off then, but after that I started catching him hesitating when I'd tell him about things that upset me. I'd ask if something bothered him and he'd just say, maybe your parents have a point. You get intense sometimes. So I tried to confront it. I asked my parents directly if they were saying anything behind my back. My mother narrowed her eyes and calmly told me I was being paranoid. My father just shook his head like I'd disappointed him. They didn't deny it exactly, they just made me feel crazy for even asking. And the rumors didn't stop. At my cousin's engagement party last fall, I overheard my aunt telling one of her friends that I was off my meds again. I stood there frozen. I've never been on medication. I didn't even know how to respond. I wasn't angry in that moment, just cold. A week later, my older brother Nathan called to check in, but the conversation felt rehearsed. He asked how I'd been coping lately, and if I'd considered seeing someone professionally. He talked to me like I was balancing on a ledge. I asked him why he was talking like that, and he brushed it off like I was imagining things. I started seeing the pattern too late. I lost a job opportunity last winter, a huge one at a firm my mother happened to know someone at. I didn't get an offer after what I thought was a strong interview. I found out through someone on the inside that my mother had reached out ahead of time and warned them about my emotional unpredictability. That was the moment it clicked. This wasn't just my family misunderstanding me. They were sabotaging me. They were actively working to shape how others saw me, to frame me as unstable, irrational, and dangerous to myself and others.